everybody, and welcome to this fantastic live WCCS Fest week. We are doing a live show on Indie Wednesday instead of our usual podcast show, and it's quite an exciting show, and it's great, first of all, to be live. Hopefully this is streaming on the Twitter page, and hopefully this is streaming also on the YouTube channel for the first time. So if it is, please let us know, and you can comment. If you're watching this, you can actually comment down below. So please, we can interact with those comments and questions you can send in. So please do that. And the guests that are waiting to come on can also interact with you on the questions. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in some guests from the writing community, people that you may very well have dealt with and spoken to on Twitter, quite possibly, because they're all full of great advice. And we are going to answer some questions that the writing community have sent into us. Not, well, I say sent into us, I stole off Twitter. But I have informed them that we are in fact using the questions to answer as part of the show. So hopefully they've tuned in as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring on very first Anya Pavil, who has been one of our guests in the past. She is the author of The Moon Hunters, and I'm going to jump. There she is.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, Anya. I am very good, thank you. And I can see that you are taking very serious precautions when it comes to COVID-19.
Yes, my state is one of the epicenters of it right now. So I'm at work with a scarf around my head so I don't have to use antibacterial shampoo every night. Not antibacterial,
Wow.
antimicrobial, and the face shield as protection.
You
So
look like you're about to step in the ice hockey ring.
that would be bad because I'm not a great ice skater.
So, well, thank you very much for coming to chat with us and making this Indie Wednesday during WCCS Fest. For those of you who don't know, is Writing Community Chat Show Festival Week, and we've got a great show every night this is dropped. And tonight we dropped your show.
I know, yay.
How do you feel about that? How's that gone down?
I feel pretty good. I actually listened to it earlier in the day, and I'm caught up with others. So
Yeah.
looking back, except for my failure towards the end of it, I think it held up pretty decently.
Well, yeah. I mean, as you know, if you listen to that, guys, you may have noticed where the quiz happened, the fact there was an overlap wasn't really the issue, that Anya didn't get many questions right. But now we've moved on to StreamYard. We're hoping that issue has been resolved, and I think it has. So look, moving forward, there shouldn't be that overlap. But again, all these questions are very topical, and if you don't know them,
Yeah.
you don't know them.
When I was talking about failure, I meant my inability to spew out the information, not any. I was talking about.
Well, it was a great show. Definitely
It was
So
wonderful. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it was great.
So I'm going to go on to the first question from the writing community that I've got up,
Okay.
on Twitter. And this is from Simon Elson at Simon Elson5.
Mhm.
And I'm going to chuck that up on the screen now so you can see that, guys. And if you are, questions, please drop them in. And he says, can anyone recommend a low-cost audiobook narrator for me to get in touch with? My budget isn't huge, so can we keep that in mind?
That question I don't really have a lot of experience with because I haven't sought out an audio narrator to have my book done. It's something I'll be thinking about soon. But that question, can't answer that too well. I do know that Drew at Blink Drive, he's found some audio narrators.
He has indeed. So, I have got an answer for that. However, I just want to take, your opinion, and, The Moon Hunters is a book that's been out now and it's done very well. So have you ever thought about that?
Yes. My publisher's been thinking about, the problem was if he was going to go through Amazon, it was going to, they would take a lot of the rights for the audio work. And he knew some voiceover actors in California, but they got busy. So that's actually something I'm going to be, working with and trying to find, because I think that would be really good. My husband has never read my book. He doesn't read, he falls asleep. So to actually have an audio version of that, he'll actually get the whole story in.
Well, there is a lot of people that they do prefer an audiobook, and it's, people are very busy. If you're surfing the web and doing all that stuff, or even writing, you can listen. So people are definitely preferable to that. So the answer I have for that is, in fact, from AC Merkel, Drew, who came on the show. He mentioned acx.com, and if you have a low budget, this is why it was important to me, because it, as you guys may have known, going through my whole book process, budget was always an issue. So acx.com has put me in touch with a voice narrator from which people are able to audition for your book. And if
Okay.
money is an issue, you can split royalties rather than pay up front. So that is a fantastic
That's
resource.
wonderful.
It is really wonderful. So that's brilliant. And,
Yeah.
definitely use that. Cool. So what are your plans now for the rest of the day? I mean, you're in work, and what's happening afterwards?
I'm going to be advising students via Zoom and then working till about 7:30, going home, and 7:30 U.S. Eastern Seaboard time, not UK time.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to go home, have dinner with my husband, play with the dog, take her for a walk, and just relax in the evening.
Sounds fantastic.
Yep.
Well, thank you, Anya, for coming on and speaking to us about this. And if you're still around at the end of the show, we'll pull you back on with everyone else and have a bit of a chat together.
You got it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you very much, Anya. And we got another few questions. And each time we bring a question on, we'll have a new guest. So hopefully you guys are sending some questions in. Let me just check. No, we haven't had any. But if you are watching this and you are managing to get it on YouTube or on Twitter, please drop below a comment and just let us know if it's working or not. So next one, let's bring in someone you've definitely seen before if you watch this show. Someone who obviously has helped us with a lot of things, and he's put a lot of work into the show in terms of videos, and that is Mr. Ross Young.
Hello.
Hello again. we seem to be seeing a lot of you on this show recently.
Well, I just can't say no, apparently. And because I'm on a similar time zone, I'm actually free at this time. Forcing people to use their lunch breaks to speak to you, that's harsh. That's all I can say.
Do you know what? This is a thing. I mean, it's beautiful to have guests come in from America because, I'm very, I guess, naive. I don't know much about the rest of the world. And to have people come in, again, like you said, during their lunch break, it just shows some commitment that our fans have, and it's fantastic. So
that's
I'm
brilliant.
Very grateful. It is indeed. So how's your day been?
It's been pretty good. It's been okay. It's been a lovely sunny day again, and been quite busy. But that's how it is. How about yourself?
It is. Yes, also very similar, and it is very nice to see the sunshine in the UK. And the next couple of days are forecast for some good sun, I believe. So I'm very much looking forward to the weekend, where there's not a massive amount planned, which is kind of nice, except for the end of WCCSFEST, of course.
Yeah, hopefully that means you can get out on the water. Is it warm enough to get out on the water?
It's still definitely warm enough, yeah.
Yeah.
And people go surfing in the winter.
Yeah, but they're lunatics.
They are. But you have wetsuits and that sort of thing to compensate, but it's still freezing cold. Are you ready for a question?
Go on then.
If you have to. Okay, so let's check this up from Krista Inc., I think. So Krista Inc., good morning, writing community. I noticed, I'm leaning around my thing here. I noticed in editing that I have the word that a lot. Does anyone else have this problem? Any good tricks to keep delete that? Your dog?
Yeah, we've got a puppy downstairs as well. It's not ours, it's a friend of ours who's here with it. Okay, let's just do the question instead of thinking about what that puppy's doing right now. This, strangely enough, I saw another similar tweet to this that somebody had said that they had done a Control F job on their manuscript and gone through to see every time they'd used the word that, and there was several hundred times that they'd used it, and they found that a lot of the times it's completely superfluous, unnecessary from the actual sentence. And I noticed this today when trimming down tweets. Quite often I will put that in, and it doesn't necessarily need replacing. It quite often doesn't need to exist at all. And it's an interesting one. I wish I had an example in front of me right now to give you, but I've started to notice that a lot more, having seen this question come up and the other person saying about it as well. It's one of those words that I think we put in automatically, but it isn't actually needed very often.
There are ways around.
Yeah. So I don't know about tricks to keep or delete it, but certainly it's not as necessary as we think it is. And I've definitely found that trying to trim down tweets and when that doesn't work, I'm just going to keep saying that now because I can't focus on anything else. That it can just disappear. So just reread the sentence yourself, delete it, see if it's still required, before worrying that you're using it a lot. you might be not need to replace it, just get rid.
Well, strangely enough, the first time I ever gave my first book to anybody to sort of go over with a fine tooth comb, they highlighted a word, a couple of words that I was repeating over and over, and quite literally I printed it off so they could write on it, and it was highlight, highlight, highlight. And until that point, I didn't realize how often I was using the same word over and over. So it's not often just a case of a certain type of word. You need to be aware of repeating words as well. And the Control F that you mentioned is a fantastic tool. Something I did a lot was use the word from quite often, but often I'd spelt it FORM, form. And because that isn't technically spelt wrong, it was never picked up on the spell check. So
I did
Control
that
F.
this morning. I did that with he and be, because obviously there's no error there for a spell check. It's not going to pick up on it. And if you're not reading something carefully, you'll make those mistakes a lot. Spell check is nowhere near as effective a tool as people think it is. Don't rely on it. Don't trust it. It's not your friend.
Not. No. It's not your friend. Love it. Okay, Russ, I'm going to move on to the next guest. We have two more, and then I'll get everyone back in for a little chat, okay?
Okay.
Thank you for your answer. So thank you for that, Russ. And okay, that is a good point that we brought up. And the Control F on Windows, not sure on Mac, it can definitely highlight something. So if you have print your manuscript off on A4 paper, go through with a highlighter and just find words you often repeat and Control F it and just go through and then there are plenty of articles online. And if I can try and find some and post them, I will, that show repetitive words and alternates for them. There's plenty on there. So please go and look and it will save you a lot of time. So I'm going to bring on Anne. I was going to say Anya. I'm getting confused with the Annas and Anyas. How are you doing?
Hi, Chris.
Hello.
Well, I'm great. I'm very, very happy that you invited me today. I need to apologize in advance if there are strange noises. There is a huge thunderstorm going on here in South Carolina. That's why it suddenly turned so dark. I hope you even can see me. So it's suddenly almost night and it's really loud. The rain is really loud and there is thunder and everything. So strange noises. It's not me. It's not my stomach or something like that.
Do you know what? I love stormy weather. I love lots of rain, the noise of rain and thunderstorms. I love it. So, I'm all up for that sort of weather.
Well, you have a lot of that in Britain, right? I mean, it's raining every day. So
amazing. So
it's famous for that.
Foggy London town, indeed.
I'd like to introduce some friends, by the way. So this is Yuri.
Oh, hello, Yuri.
Yeah, she is now sweet and friendly for a change. She isn't trying to eat my iPhone or my controller.
Ah.
And here are two more.
Look at the look they're giving us.
And
hello.
that's Neil and Gabby. So they're all here. They're assisting me. So we're ready for whatever.
That is fantastic. I think they should come on the show. Do they talk much?
Oh, they would love to. I'm sure Yuri would love to. So now she's trying to get my coffee. Look, so that's my coffee, and Yuri is trying to get it. Okay.
Fantastic eyes.
Yeah. So I wanted to add something to the question you just discussed, and there is a software I can really recommend. I don't know if you ever heard of that. It's called Autocrit. And I think it's very, very useful because it will highlight all the words for you which you use maybe too much, and it will also tell you if it's really too much or if you're still in a green zone. Sometimes it seems to you that you use a certain word too much, but then it will tell you, no, you're totally fine with that. Okay. And it will highlight other stuff and you think, oh my God, really? Have I done that? So I think it's a very, very useful software for self-editing. If you can't afford an editor, it really may help you a lot to make your text more smooth and everything.
It does sound like a fantastic tool, and I think that is something that we could highlight on the author services page on the website, because we do put things that are very useful on there, and I think that's something I will pick your brain for, and we'll stick up on that site there. Okay, are you ready for a question?
Yes. Oh,
wow, it's quite a good question that related. Okay, so S. Courts at DRCORTES writes, what resources have you used, #WritingCommunity, to help you write Twitter pitches? Have any of you actually got an agent through a Twitter pitch? Just curious. So do you know of anyone that has done this? And if so, if they have processes and that.
Pitches like for PitMed and such probably is the question, right? I'm not sure. I personally never heard of anyone who would actually gotten an agent or a publisher over a Twitter pitch. I heard it once from an agent, but that was rather a political decision to choose this person. So I personally am skeptical if all these PitMeds and so on are really worth the effort, or if there are more bringing attention to, I don't know, agents and publishers instead of the authors. How to write a pitch? I mean, there is this famous elevator pitch every author should master, and that's it comes from the movie industry and the word. So you always, when you're an author in Hollywood, you always have to be prepared to meet I don't know, J.J. Abrams in the elevator, and then be ready to, like this, shoot out your elevator pitch for, and of course you have your screenplay in your bag by coincidence, which you can give him later. But so the elevator pitch should be maybe 3 sentences, and that's something everyone can practice. And there are actually very good online sources where you can find elevator pitches for very famous movies such as Jaws or A Quiet Place and stuff like that. And that's probably very helpful if you take that from a movie well, and then see how the elevator pitch looks, and then try to apply it to your own work. That's something I could recommend for maybe newbie writers to research that and do that.
I think that's a great tip, a bit of advice there, because those are his eyes are amazing. Hi. There are plenty of those pitches, like you said there, that are, industry recognized, or famous ones, in fact, that have been used, and they're available for you to look at. And I mean, if you can use that as a guide, a rough guide, then you got a starting point. But also, as you said, you've got to be skeptical of hoping to be picked up from a tweet with 280 characters, I want to say, as a guess, because what can someone really tell about your writing? I mean, okay, a little bit, but it's just an idea it's a premise, isn't it? So perhaps it's good to get your ability for writing shorter and more impactful stories down. Whether it actually works, I'm not entirely sure. But if any of you have got...
There's also one more thing I would like to add to that, and most newbie writers are a little bit naive when it comes to the industry, and I would like to give a warning that the industry can be very cannibalistic. So if you have the unique, amazing idea, like, I don't know, The Quiet Place, for example, we talked about that, right? It was an amazing, unique idea, and you make this fantastic pitch. Chances are someone will pick that up in the industry and will develop it themselves. There are even authors who have been in the industry for a long time who don't have scruples to do that, because eventually they run out of ideas. And it's also what can happen with agents, that they pick up a great idea and then will give this idea to one of their authors and say, hey, I've seen this amazing idea, maybe you can do something similar. So it can be cannibalized. It's very, very, it is not uncommon in the industry. And it's also something I would always recommend, is that you register your work, your book, before you hand it out to anyone, especially to agents. Always register it before. And there is, for example, the WGA, the Writers Guild of America. Everybody can register their screenplays, but also their novels there. It's cheap. You have the registration number. And if then you see suddenly a bestseller by a famous person and they have the same idea, you can sue them because you have this proof that you have been the first one who has written it. That's what they do in Hollywood all the time.
Yeah, I was going to say that's something that a lot of people probably never thought about. And it's very... I know in the UK, in America, you have to basically go out of your way to copyright all your materials and those sort of things. So it's definitely something worth highlighting to anyone who's going to release work that maybe has a great idea and they think it's a great idea, because the last thing you want is to release your work and it already be somewhere else on a big scale, and they just stole your idea. So perhaps, these pitmads, for example, are a way for companies to get an insight and stories.
You never know. I would definitely not trust the industry. I have been in this game for over 20 years, and they only pretend to be nice. It's not like in the writing community, where we all support each other, and where it's really with a lot of people, really a community and people trying to help each other. The real industry is a little bit different. I always say it's swimming with sharks and without a cage, without a metal cage.
Panthers are the way forward.
Panther, yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you for that answer. There's a lot of insightful things there. So, first of all, don't trust big companies, and be careful what you're putting out on Twitter, and make sure things are registered. So, thank you for that answer. And very shortly, I will speak to one more guest, and then we'll bring everyone back on for a chat. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So, that's some amazing advice there that most people don't think about when you come to a pitmad or hashtag, whatever those short story type things are. If you're putting your best material, your best stories out there, these are stories that someone in a big industry with a bit of cash might say, we have writers that work for us. Here's an idea of a story, write that, produce it, we'll stick it on film or a book, and you've lost that idea. So be careful with your work. It is your work. Make sure it's registered. Make sure you've got a backup of your early materials so you can see the process from start to finish. So if it ever did go to court, you have your materials that you worked with, the first idea when it was called a different type of book, and every stage there. So don't delete old copies and old drafts. Keep them. Definitely keep them. So we'll have one more guest on, and she is a superstar of Twitter, of the writing community. And then we'll have everyone back together and just have a little chat and see how things are going. So I introduce to you, most of you know her, Halo Scott.
Hey Chris, how are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. How is it where you are?
In what sense? I mean, weather's good. That's
weather-wise.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're in Wales in the UK, and the sun is out, which is quite a miracle in itself. We've had a few weeks of sun already, and now it's back again, so I can't complain.
That's
What
awesome.
is your weather like? I mean, Anna's weather just now was thunderstorming and raining, so.
I'm a bit farther north than she is, but it's pretty humid and disgusting, so we'll probably get some storms later.
Yeah, I was woken up the other morning by the most almighty thunderstorm I'd ever heard. And
Oh,
I
no.
like thunder, and this was like, whoa, this is crazy. Yeah. So what's your plans today? What are you up to?
Just working really. I went for a run in the morning, and if it's not too disgusting, I might go for a run again, but we've been having air quality concerns, so.
You're gonna run twice in a day?
Yeah, I mean, I usually do. I tend to drink too much coffee, so.
Wow. I went for a run today, so I'm in your club, but that was enough for me. I'm done. There's no 2 runs.
Well, it's cooler where you are, you know.
It
I don't
was a
know.
hard one today. It was hard. I had heavy legs and it was humid, so yeah, it was tough. It was tough. Okay. Are you ready for a question, Halo?
Sure.
Yes, why not? Okay. Holly Holstein? Yeah, that's right. Holly Holstein. Writers, how do you create names for characters? I usually try to find meaningful name for leads, but end up on random name generator for the rest, which I have done, and it's terrible.
I've tried those generators too. They never have worked for me, but generally I find myself going to Nameberry, so it's just nameberry.com, BERRY.
Okay.
And they have just a bunch of lists. I mean, behind the name is good too, because you get some etymology with that one. I mean, I guess I kind of get obsessed and end up spending like 3 hours searching for one name and then going back and changing it. I mean, you know, I guess I just would say the more sources, the better.
Yeah.
Nameberry is probably the one I go to most, though. I find that if I need a quick name, I can go there.
Do you know what? I did the same, exactly the same. I've used these generators and I thought, oh, these are terrible, just absolutely terrible. But it is the hardest part of my process. I mean, writing the book or following the characters and all this stuff I found enjoyable, quite fairly comfortable. When it came to choosing names, it took me forever. And I don't know why. I'm in the same group as Holly. I find it difficult to create a name, and I don't get why that is. But, maybe it's because it's more of a personal touch, I think, maybe. I'm not sure.
It's so intimate, I think, calling someone one name versus another, it can really change the tone. Like, I think that Daisy is such a cool character name for your character because it's like, she, to me, it kind of represents how she's kind of this flower coming into being. Like, in the beginning, she's very innocent. And then as, everything goes to shit, she learns, I don't want to give spoilers, but, she learns more and more and is kind of growing into her own. So, I really liked that name.
Yeah. No, it has good meaning to it, and I like the name anyway, so it's kind of it ended up in the right place. I mean, this is something that I'm itching to read, and often I've got books I want to read, and they're there, but this is something I'm itching to read, and I have done since we first spoke about it, which is your book, Edge of the Breach.
You don't have to read it. You'll judge me.
I really want to read this, because it sounds like my cup of tea, but everyone talks about your character, Kaida. Now, the name Kaida, that's quite unique. Daisy, all right, you kind of get that, but where did Kaida come from?
I mean, I probably went through about 100 names before I landed on his. I wanted something that was, I don't know, kind of a hostile name, like sounded very aggressive, but I also wanted something that hadn't been done before because I knew he was going to be kind of this character. Like, I wanted him to be memorable. I guess that, he just does horrible things, and like, I didn't want him to have a common name. I don't know. So yeah, I guess I just went through like hundreds of names and pieced it together, and I don't know.
So I think the moral of the story is everyone struggles with names at some point. But just I guess finding a meaningful name is what she asks, and that is something that we've all done in some way. My character Daisy, perfectly as Halo said, is grown from an innocent young flower until wait till book 2. Gee. So
wait.
Yeah, and obviously they've got meaning behind them, but you've got to find your own meaning, I guess, and what that character means to you and what that character represents. So perhaps try and find that. So thank you for that answer. And if you wait there for a second, I will invite the rest of the people back in.
This is so
Although
cool.
on Anna's screen, I can see spinning. Oh, there she is. So I'll invite everyone back in and we'll just have a little chat. And there is one more question that I will ask the group, but I'm not sure if anyone knows about it. So let's see. Ross?
Hi.
Anya?
Hi.
And Anna?
Hey, I found the light switch.
Nice.
Now you can see me.
Did you all see Anna's dogs, by the way?
Yes, so cute.
How beautiful was that? Sorry, what's his name? The dog with the blue eyes.
The dog with the blue eyes is Yuri. There she is.
Yuri, yeah, amazing eyes on that dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's pretty and she knows it. That's why she gets away with everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to. There's one more question. There's 2 more questions. I'll save the best one to last. Anyone know what SFF Pit is? And I guess it's like Pit Mad, but this is circulating around Twitter today. So if anyone's watching and doesn't know what it is, have you got an answer to that?
I think Ross knows what it is.
Yeah, my answer is go and retweet my pinned tweet. That's the only answer.
I will do that.
Yeah.
Well,
it is Pit Mad, but it's for science fiction and fantasy or speculative fiction. So it's basically the same thing. And I think we've spoken about this before. You guys all know this. I think that Halo is retweeting everyone. I got put in Twitter jail today. That's never happened to me before. I'm a first-time offender. I was pretty upset. It's only temporary, but now my card's marked. They're watching me. I've got to worry about the algorithm. I'm pretty scared. I've got to be honest.
Who else has ever been in Twitter jail?
Never.
Many times.
Heather's
I'm always
got like a membership card.
Anya, did you say yes or no?
Halo has. I think I was once because I kept tagging.
So S2 over this side, we're the good ones because I've never been there. So what does it mean to be in Twitter jail?
We don't talk about Twitter jail.
First rule of Twitter jail.
You'll learn. You
they
allow
limit
it.
what you can do. That's
It's fantastic.
yeah.
And okay, let's finish the questions up. Oh no, there's another one. I'm terrible at this, aren't I? So let's chuck this up on the screen because
Nobody say anything.
some of you, I think Ross, you have actually spoken about this before. Lily Ashtree Lily at Ashtree Lily. What do you do when you begin to hate your work in progress?
Have a beer.
Have a beer.
Sorry.
Yes, or I leave it alone. I go work on something else for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So that way I can tell if it's my mood or if I genuinely hate it.
Do you know we got an interview? Oh, hang on, we got some comments on here, and I've been ignoring them. Sorry guys. I'm going to speak about these comments in a minute because hopefully they're still listening. Yeah, we've got Will Carver who's coming on the show on Saturday. It's a fantastic interview, by the way, which will be a YouTube video because we interviewed it. We filmed it. He spoke about how he literally deleted his story 3 times.
Oh my God.
And I thought, Ross, you had mentioned that before, and I'm not sure, but I don't see how I could ever do that.
Story deleter. Yeah.
So when you delete that, what do you do? Do you go back to it at all, or is that it?
It's normally a rage delete, so it's it's regretted very quickly afterwards. I tend to have them somewhere backed up, and I do go back and look at things that I wrote a long time ago. I've got something that I must have written about 15 years ago now that I went and looked at the other day, and I laughed at it, and then I cried at how bad it was for a bit, and then I put it back in the folder where it lives. That will never be seen again. Most of the time, I don't really delete everything. I just rename the document and then pretend it never existed. But as Anya said, it's about walking away, isn't it? Do I really hate it, or am I just really, really frustrated with it at the minute? And there's a big difference between the two. Also, I definitely suffer from an inability. Like, I don't think that you guys do as much, but if I'm not enjoying writing something, I will just be like, yeah, screw it. Let's just start all over again rather than trying to fix it. But I think that might be a kind of reverse laziness. I make a lot more work for myself.
Is that a case though of, sorry, is that a case of starting the same story again, or have you just ditched the story completely?
It varies. I don't ever get rid of the story completely. Like there's usually the characters are hanging on or something like that, but it might just be a case of this plot is, I'm trying to drive it rather than letting the characters do it, or the characters are being dicks and not letting me go where I want to go. It's that simple.
Pittsburgh Les on the comments he's messaged us and said he deleted his book twice before being happy with it. I mean, that sounds like a whole book delete to me from that answer. Please comment back again if it was just a manuscript at some stage or
Pittsburgh Les. That's like multiple times. Yeah.
Not a fan of deleting a book, obviously.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, I interrupted someone there. Who was going to speak? Anyone?
No. I wanted to speak, but my dog is speaking now, so I rather mute myself. They are barking at the thunderstorm. So
we haven't heard that thunderstorm coming through, mind. It's good. Okay,
good.
So
that's actually good. Yeah, I'm glad you didn't.
Laney, Ashley, do you know of any podcasts that are interviewing authors? I'd love to get the word out, but it's hard with COVID. Anyone know of any podcasts that interview authors?
This one.
Wonder.
There is only one. Okay. Nothing else matters. Nothing else is acceptable. There is only the writing community chat show.
Oh, Victoria Price. She's one of our community members, and she said her dogs are also freaking out with the barking. So Anna, your dogs are making Victoria's dogs bark.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, no, they're quiet now. Now they're quiet until it thunders again. So. And
she said at Stories Salt also interview authors. By the way, if you want to go and speak to them, they do
Storytell Pod.
Story.
Yeah.
Story Salt. She said. Yeah, poetry, audio dramas, and interviews, etc. And Connor, who has also started, Little Irishman, he's started up his podcast, who I am his first interview guest for. So thank you, Connor, for having me on your show.
Very patronising, wasn't it?
Not at all.
Wow.
What do you mean? Anyway, he said he deleted his whole book on purpose as part of the editing process. He prints the book out, makes edits, then retypes the whole thing.
Oh my God.
I think that's craziness.
That's genius. It's commitment, though.
I have to say, I'm really surprised that so many people start hating their manuscripts. That never happened to me, honestly. I don't know. I'm usually totally in love with my manuscript. So maybe it's, maybe you just need to try to give it some love, and it will give some love back. I don't know. Deleting it, that's so cruel. I mean, the poor characters and everything.
Oh, we heard that one.
What you could do too is you could print out the manuscript and put it in a fire, but actually keep the digital one. That way you get the rage destruction.
I will try and employ that technique next time. Actually, it would probably take me hours to sit there printing it, and the rage might have gone by then anyway.
That sounds fantastic. I mean, the whole thing about deleting the digital copy and then having to retype it all seems like way too much for me. I think I'm too lazy for that.
Oh, absolutely. Oh my God. That's
here.
I don't have enough time anyway. I don't know how you guys do that. How do you have so much time? Is your day longer than mine? I don't know. Mine is always too short, and I spend way too much time on Twitter. It's horrible. My phone always tells me how much time I spend every day on social media, and I'm horrified. And
I'm just going to say, it's been 10 years since I finished a book, so I don't have that much time. I should stop deleting stuff.
Ross, you're not that old.
This isn't my face. This is actually prosthetic. Yeah.
I'm now purposely dropping comments inappropriately to the conversation just to kind of freak people out.
That's Victoria's just laughing at my face now. That doesn't make any sense.
She's just flirting with you. Definitely. That's a flirty smiley.
There is a trick I heard from someone, and this actually really helps because I get to the same stage where like I'll write my book and I'll be like, this is amazing. Then I'll edit it and I'll be like, this is shit. And then I'll go back and like I don't know what's right. They say change the font to something else because you're so used to seeing it in one font. So especially if you change it to something that's like just really ridiculous, it helps your brain just reset and it looks kind of foreign, So you can either put like parts in an email to yourself, format some of it like a book, or use Comic Sans.
Oh, no, you cannot. You can do everything else you said. You can't do that last thing.
I knew you'd like that.
No, we're not going to get into this. This is a minefield. This is you just trying to trap us in horrible, horrible arguments. Let's not talk about Comic Sans.
So, hang on. I used to read aloud. The read aloud option in Word when editing, that helps. Anyone know what that is?
Oh yeah, you can.
Is that like a voice narrator?
Mm-hmm. It does. It'll read a Word document aloud.
Okay. In a weird computer voice, though, I imagine.
You can change it though. You can change the voice. Some of them aren't as horrible as others.
Can I change it to Ross?
He does have a nice reading voice.
Just send it to me.
Again, Victoria, that is no way to speak about Ross. He's got a great voice.
Hey, I'm right here.
Well, a few weeks ago on the show, because the overlap issues that we've had on Anchor, I think have gone. Because we've started using StreamYard now for everything. So once we catch up with the videos and stuff, that's gone. And we can share screens and things. So we were actually playing a few weeks ago. We got the Google Translate lady, and we were typing perhaps some childish comments into there, and she was speaking on the show. So I thought that's a great thing to look into and that we're going to use on the future shows. But it's very good. Does anyone have any cool plans for the weekend? Anyone got anything good coming up? I know
working.
Hurricane supplies.
Hurricane. Oh,
Hurricane
okay. You're having a new hurricane coming up?
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't have any this year yet, but they will come.
And are you going to get all your supplies together too?
I'm a poor author. I only eat ramen anyway, so it doesn't matter for me.
I find it fascinating. It's something that obviously in Britain, I've never dealt with anything like that. Or we don't have weird animals that sting us and all that stuff, and it's just kind of a cozy little place to live, I guess, at times. So to be in that situation, I find crazy. It's I'm thankful that I'm not in that position, but it must be. Is it something you kind of used to now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so funny here in South Carolina when I first moved here. So I mean, we have hurricanes, not as bad as in Florida, but they are every year. We have tornadoes and all kinds of deadly animals and whatever. And people in South Carolina are always like, hurricane, oh yeah, whatever. Tornado, oh yeah, whatever. But then we have 2 days in a year where we have 2 inches of snow and everybody panics. Like they run into the supermarkets and buy all milk and bread for some reason and then stay put. So it's even worse than COVID is snow, 2 inches. It's a nightmare. For South Carolina, that's the nightmare.
The worst thing about all this COVID thing is it's highlighted what people really do in life. So if we ever have a new story coming out like World War Z Part 2, if the first thing that happens that isn't people running to get toilet paper, milk and bread, we know it's not real.
Yeah.
It's ruined that for us.
Yeah, it's really shitty. It's really a shitty thing to start a post-apocalyptic story, right? People running for toilet paper. It's so not cool.
Can you believe it's like we're going into August now and we're still in the same position as we were in March? I just can't believe it.
We're going down a rabbit hole again. It's not going to change for quite some time.
Yeah.
I did never expect it to end quickly.
No, it's crazy. And to be honest, a lot of us, including really established authors, have said that people's mental states have not helped them write more. People haven't read as much. It's not actually benefiting as much as a lot of authors probably thought it would. So, hopefully that if it does carry on, that can change maybe for us. I'm not sure.
I think once we start getting a vaccine, it'll get better.
Yeah.
And people are being more conscious about masks and things. So I think we'll see a little bit of a dent.
Well, I think wearing a mask on a podcast, I don't think you can catch it through here. But, you never know.
I don't trust the air conditioning.
I'm joking. That's fine.
Well, it's not a mask. I mean, that's really cool. That's the sci-fi version of a mask. That's pretty badass.
I actually think to a left-hand side there's a metal table with someone lying on it, and she's got all these sharp objects just poking him with it. Mm-hmm. She's just surgery, horror surgery to the left.
Yeah, she's a little bit the mad scientist.
And she finishes by snapping back on the gloves.
Oh. She's not denying it either. So I think, this is fantastic that you guys have come on to speak to us. And clearly, this is a good test to see if this works, and it does. And on Friday, even though me and Ross bought beers to Wednesday, I'm going to dress up a little on Friday.
I'm just going to interrupt you really quickly, Chris, because there's 2 things. Firstly, Connor, has made it clear that he's 184 centimeters tall. Okay?
Well, what's that in foot? I think we're the same height. Is that 5'9"? I don't know.
5'9"? No.
No, that's near 6 foot.
Is it?
It's
184 is pretty close to 6 foot. 5'11", 6.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry.
Does Halo have a second book on its way? It's one of the other questions. Just doing your job for you now, Chris.
Can you see these on the screen, Ross?
Yeah. Can you not see them?
Can you click on them? Yeah. Do they?
No, I can't click on them. I don't have any power. I'm just a voice. I'm just a mouth.
So who said this about Halo? Where's that gone?
That's Victoria further up.
Can you see?
You could just ask the question. Does Halo have another book?
No, I need to put it on the screen. It needs to be there. Does Halo have a new book coming out? Can't find it.
Halo, you can't answer it until it appears on the screen, apparently.
I like literally, this. It's like
that was the whole question. I don't even get what's going on right now.
You can ask the mad scientist. The mad scientist will tell you how to do it. They know everything.
Oh, Chris, who is Coco?
Who said that?
Oh, no, that's just me asking while you get the question.
Oh,
I'm filling for you.
Coco, that's not going to help me multitask. You know that, right? Coco was
There it is. I see it now.
That's she asked again. Look, Coco was the lady that lives in the computer that tweets regularly that isn't me or Chris, and she's quite sadistic.
I don't know how I missed that. That's great.
Oh, okay. There was a whole weird. I think Ross replied a few gifs with her, and then it got a bit nasty. So she hasn't been seen for a while.
I stopped talking to her.
Yeah,
Not on good terms.
that was the breaking point. I think she got a bit annoyed with that. What does that mean?
The paperclip.
Oh God.
I have no idea.
Oh, you don't know the dancing paperclip in the corner of Word? That's annoying and just randomly pops up with like random advice that doesn't help.
Really?
Yes.
I don't have the paperclip. I had it years ago. Where did it go?
They got rid of it because it was so despised by everybody. Yeah. Did you know that if you hold shift, you can get a capital letter now? Thanks, Clippy. Yeah.
I don't know what she's saying, Ross.
That does right. Never mind that. Does Halo have a second book coming out?
It's not on there. I'm telling you now.
Oh my God! Stop talking, Chris. Halo, answer the question.
Maybe soon, perhaps.
Oh,
okay. Well, that was worth the effort, wasn't it? See?
The build up, yeah.
But I heard Ross has a book coming out. I don't know. Someone told me. I'm not sure who. I don't know how I know.
I would never have mentioned that. That doesn't sound like me. Yeah.
Tell us about your book, Ross.
It's the book that's taken 10 years to write and delete. But yeah, it's the sequel to Deadheads, which I'm sure everybody's read. I mean, it's there. It's just
on my Kindle.
Yeah, is it really? Oh,
yes.
Yeah, I don't actually like it when people really read it. I like it when people tell me that.
We love you too, Mario.
Sure.
Hey, Mario.
Do you know, I've had to speak with Mario. I messaged him. Oh, hang on, Ross, this one's for you. It's very funny. I'll put that back in a minute. But Mario, we interviewed a few months ago. And because of this wonderful Anchor, I mean, Anchor's been fantastic for us. It started us from nothing. It is what the podcast grew on. And we still use it to upload, but for recording on, it's been a bit of a nightmare. So Mario did a great show with us, and it was so badly crossed over that we couldn't use it. But now we've got all this great visuals going on and stuff. Mario's agreed to come back on, so do another interview. So we're luckily not losing that. So we thank you very much for saying that, and you'll come back on, because I was gutted that we couldn't use that and put it out for the people, because it was fantastic. Yes, Deadheads. I'm just over 50% very funny.
It makes me very awkward when you say stuff about my book. I don't know why, and it just does.
Say more.
I really like it.
Yeah, I can turn this off, guys, just so you know.
Oh,
well, sorry.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong.
It's not your fault. Sorry. Oh, come on.
There's nothing wrong with Deadheads. You know what I mean?
I didn't say there was anything wrong with it. I'm socially awkward. That's what I was saying. Oh, well, I'm getting more that way every minute.
There's nothing wrong with it, Ross. Don't be so.
Anyway.
Yeah.
What else did you forget to read out? Let me see if I can find something. Okay, you were mean to Connor for no good reason. What else have we got? Oh, how did people begin the process for making an audiobook? That's the only other question that was on there. And it was at the very beginning, so you're excused.
Yeah, I mean, we did discuss that. So if you tuned in now, although I think live start from the start.
Look at that pooch. Sorry.
Yeah. It's how old is that dog, Anna?
She just had her first birthday.
Wow.
And she's still growing, and she is the smartest dog I ever had. She switches off my Xbox when I'm playing, and she wants attention. So yeah, she is, and now she loves coffee. She tries to get my coffee, and she is. It's never boring with her.
I don't think she wanted that on the screen.
I don't know what she's playing. Yeah, that dog is going to get big. Is it? What is it? Is it a husky? No.
No, that's a Catahoula leopard mix. I didn't know that such a breed exists until I adopted her. I just went to the shelter, and it turned out it's a breed, and there are from I think Louisiana or something, and they are bred to hunt boars, which is why they are so agile and so incredibly smart. And she loves to run, which is a problem because I hate running. I hate going jogging or something. So yeah.
Maybe that's a dog that Halo should have.
Oh yeah, yeah. If
She
you
runs
love
twice
running,
a day.
oh my God, that would be a dream for her. And for me, because she would maybe leave me alone and don't eat my stuff.
You're not too far away. Just like, 1,000 miles.
Yeah, I know. It's for Americans that just a little road trip.
So Victoria has asked, would you all consider a group paperback giveaway? And now, I'm sure the answer to most people would be yes. But the question is, how and why? And of course, it's great to give away, but how would this momentous giveaway happen, and what would be the requirements of entering that competition? So if you have a suggestion, Anna, Victoria, please get back to us. You'd all be happy with that, guys, would you?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Ross, one of your new books, maybe?
This is being funny now, isn't he? Yeah.
I've had a mango beer now, so that's it. You've got the silly side of me. It was very nice, actually. And it was called Disco Forklift Truck. You got,
yeah. Thanks for that.
Yeah. Well, I'm, every week we have a sponsor, Ross, and we get to drink beer on the show. And I wasn't going to drink this tonight, but you brought a beer with you tonight, so I thought I had to then.
Oh, well, I was making up for the other day when I didn't have a beer with me.
Oh, okay. Well,
so this is from your previous sponsor. Who was that sponsor? Do you remember who that was?
What, the one with the... Yeah,
I can't remember who it was. No, you put me up in the corner of the screen and you won't take it away. So this beer is sponsored by me because I bought it for me.
So you're our first double guest because I can announce this, I guess, that Laura, and I get her name wrong. This is fantastic on the interview. Laura Coyette. I'm sure it's not called that. I asked her before we went on air how to say her name, and then pressed record and then said her name wrong. It is that bad. But, it's just the way I am. And she was a fantastic interview. And she knew Quentin Tarantino, Leonardo DiCaprio, and it was just crazy to listen to her talk. And that's coming up next week. So, and Ross, you were the sponsor of that show. So I was right.
Okay. That sounds good.
So probably a mailing list sign up thing, and each would send their own paper book out. That kind of works. But I still think there should be some sort of entry requirements. Maybe a writing contest.
Just a draw. Have you got a mailing list? You have got a mailing list for the show, haven't you?
Sort of. The Wix account has a mailing list, but
well, I know that you're in my email every other day telling me what's going on with the WCCS. That wasn't a negative thing. It was in a great way. I'm always happy to see it.
It's only yours I'm sliding into, Ross.
It's
just you in the list. That's it.
You're making it worse. So much worse. On your website, you can subscribe, can't you? Give your email address. So if you maybe when you have 100 subscribers, say maybe do a draw out of those, and then they would get a book.
Fight to the death. Sorry,
fight to the death.
What? Never mind.
You can make them fight to death, but they have to film it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do a live. Yeah.
Survivor, wins.
Mm-hmm.
Battle Royale sounds good.
That sounds reasonable.
That sounds good.
This is the question that's.
Do we get to pick the weapons?
Yeah.
Only fair.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Sword.
Yeah.
The question
or no weapons. No weapons, just bare hands.
Maybe just one weapon in the middle.
Ooh, that
Yeah.
A potato. Sorry, Anna, just to go back slightly, you said that you were playing your Dog Turns Off your Xbox. What were you playing on the Xbox? What's your game?
Oh, I've been playing all my life, so I'm really an avid gamer, and lately I have been playing Rage 2. I really enjoyed that game. That's a shooter. It's a post-apocalyptic first-person shooter. So when I feel bad, then I go and shoot some people. So that's always nice. And or I also like playing multiplayer Elder Scrolls multiplayer that's like Skyrim, just with other players, and there you can also go around and level up your character and kill other players, which is also fun. Which is much more fun than just killing NPCs. But she gets upset, and then she walks to the Xbox and presses her nose against it and switches it off. And it happened a couple of times now. And then she
might be anti-killing people.
Oh yeah, right. She's trying to kill the frogs and the birds and everything. But yeah, and probably boars if there were any here. But she's absolutely pacifistic.
Wow.
I love how violent this group is.
It is, isn't it? So apart from Victoria, who said what you're fighting for, well, you kind of missed out that, to give away these books. Halo wanted to fight to death. I've heard that characters are very violent. Maybe it's, an internal thing.
I don't think it's that internal.
Very external, do you mean? Yeah. So everyone, I'm not sure how many of you are available for Friday, but Friday will be a show where I've obviously messaged some of you that I want people to come on. And we're still missing Hooli. I mean, he's moving house somewhere and he's been very distant. He probably, if he hasn't picked up his Twitter, he probably doesn't even know that WCCSFEST is actually happening properly. He probably thought it was just something I talked about and that was it. It's been fantastic. And, we've had, who did we have on?
It's been fantastic without Hooli. He will be happy to hear that.
No,
in fairness, it has taken 4 of us to replace him today.
Yeah,
that's true.
We had TT Banks on Monday, we had Craig Robertson yesterday, and we had Anya Pavil today, which is fantastic. And
you guys did a fantastic job with it.
And then we're halfway through, so we've got the rest of the week to come. And so Friday, instead of the Friday night chat show, me and Chris chatting more nonsense, we actually want to have a big chat like this, loads of people on with a beer. Perhaps if you've got time to maybe dress up, you won't, but I will, because you'll still be in work.
Dress up like what?
I know, cosplay.
Like cosplay, right?
No, like just put a shirt on. I don't know. And then
so we're not supposed to be naked. Okay, I think that's manageable.
Just a shirt. I don't know.
That was a challenge this time.
So just have a drink to come and tell us a story or a joke, and then just have a good time. So that's Friday's plan.
So now it's a performance piece thing. They completely changed it.
Puppets. Do what you want to do. If you have a puppet show, I'll be very impressed.
I can be there with my dogs. I mean, I'm sure they will love to say hi again, especially the puppy.
Can they dress up?
Oh yeah, I have a Batman costume for my lab. He actually loves it. He loves being Batman. Oh my God, with his cape.
Oh my days! Please put that on.
And I have a Wonder Woman costume for my little one. She hates it. She absolutely hates it.
Avenge your dogs that can be on the show on Friday.
Yes, I can do that. They will dress up for you, and you will see a very grumpy little dog. That's her. The little one is this one. That's Gabby. Now she's sleeping, but don't make her angry. That's never a good idea.
I will try my best. Ladies and gentlemen, and the Writing Community Chat Show, thank you so much for stopping by. And I know you're very busy, and for you in America, it fascinates me that you can come and speak to me, and especially being in the middle of work. And yeah,
Americans don't really work very hard. It's normal.
I can't have two Anya and Anya on the bottom. It's doing my head in. So thank you so much for being here. And Ross, France, yeah, it's not really much different.
Thanks. Yeah, glad I came. And
Ross's book's up in the top corner. Please buy it. And he's got a new book coming out, so please look out for that.
You sound like I'm begging as well.
I'm
more.
I'm pushing it for you. Do you know what I mean? So it's been great to see you and speak to you. It's been fantastic.
Thanks for having us. This is
Thank you. Thank you.
You are completely welcome. And again, buy Ross's book, and we will see you on Friday. Enjoy the show. Please share WCCS Fest, and we'll see you soon. There's one more comment. Bye. Cheers, guys.